Wanted to put this out there because I just recently today have seen the Matrix 4 trailer, and it's titled what? Because they're all
Resurrections.
Resurrections, yes, because there was the first one, then there was Reloaded, then there was Revelations, now there's Resurrections. It's like a Ford, they just keep using the same naming convention. But and guys, did you all get to see the trailer?
Yes.
Or watch the trailer?
I'm a mom with an infant and a toddler.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what that means. Is that your internet not work?
I actually literally watched it just before we got on.
Yeah, very good. Well, and again, on our channels, you can see the my live reaction to the actual video on our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. Real quick, my take on it pretty much, has not changed. Matter of fact, the more that I thought about it, it was almost a beat for beat recreation of the original series, and it kind of
the original movie.
Yeah, well, the first two specifically.
History repeats itself.
Yeah, but I mean, not for $12.99. I don't want it to repeat itself. I want to.
They did that with what? He's going to correct me on the words.
The Force Awakens.
Thank you. The Force Awakens versus what was the original one?
A New Hope.
A New Hope. They did that with that one, and it was popular.
Yeah, but there were at least different characters. This is literally Neo, and he's playing. And correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny. I mean, and Logan, you saw this too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, and again, I'll speed this up, but Keanu Reeves, fantastic human being. I've seen all the footage of him, giving up seats, not molesting fans while he's taking pictures. A1 guy.
Bar.
Yeah, that's the bar.
No, Keanu Reeves sets a bar. I think Keanu Reeves sets a bar on how to be a good human, like in general. Like,
yeah, and that's my point.
Beyond,
yes,
that is my point. I love him as a human being. Now that being said, his acting is trash. It's always been trash. It will always be trash. But
everything before the butt doesn't count.
No. Well, okay. In addition to his trash acting, he has a niche of a skill set. And if you ever notice, the best films he's ever in, he is always discovering things. He doesn't know what's going on. And the more he starts to know, the worse the movie gets. That's why The Matrix 1 was so good, because he was always out of his element. He was discovering things. He was like, he was confused, but,
I would argue Point Break doesn't follow that pattern.
That was not a good film, Logan. That is a cult. That is a cult film. That is a cult film. And he was confused because Brody was leading him around by the nose the whole time. Am I wrong? He didn't know what was going on. He was out of his element. He's always out of his element, at least in my opinion. But except for John Wick, and you notice there's not a lot of dialogue in John Wick. I mean, he probably has 5 lines through the entire movie. It's and it's not. They're not good lines either. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. I mean, come on. That's not Oscar. Well, but again, it works for what it is.
So are you going and operating on the assumption that every movie should be Oscar worthy?
I'm going on the assumption that at least one of your movies should be good. That's what I'm going off of.
But if your equation to good is Oscar worthy, then that's, to me, that's setting the bar too high.
I'm being
Avengers. How many Marvel movies are Oscar worthy?
I'm being facetious, not literally an Oscar, but I mean, for crying out loud, be able to deliver a line, have some inflection in your voice.
I look at it as the man's been in the movie business for a while, and
yes,
that doesn't determine anything.
I know.
Yes, Thank you. I mean, yes, and that's also the frustrating part is he's been in it for 40 years, it seems, and he still can't deliver a line. I mean, well, what is that? And again, great human being. I'm just saying that he's, and to my point, this is literally him in this trailer. He doesn't know who he is. He's meeting, a bald black man in sunglasses that teaches him kung fu.
Yeah,
and
but it's to introduce the younger generations to the previous Matrix movie.
There's an interesting scene or very short clip in the trailer. Someone is actually watching the first Matrix movie in the actual trailer. It's like you see it in the background. It's the scene. It's like the scene where he first takes the red pill and the mirror, gets stuck to his finger and he starts.
That's not a movie. That's a new scene doing the exact same thing. That's yes.
Oh, it's because
I've watched it 4 times already. That is the new Morpheus touching the screen.
It's not Morpheus, it's Neo.
Well, okay, it's Neo, but it's there. I'm sorry. There's 2 scenes with a mirror. There's one with Morpheus where he has his shirt off and he touches the mirror, and there's one where Neo touches the mirror or steps through it. And
I'm going to throw in the scene I'm talking about because
we'll all rewatch it again. My point being is that there's so many beats that are exactly pulled from the original series. It brings nothing new to the table. There's helicopters.
Maybe it's to get people interested.
Yes, but that's called not a reboot. That's like a remake. I mean, it almost seems like they're remaking the entire movie.
Force Awakens is the same thing. I mean, it's to introduce the new generation to the older movies. Get people interested in going back to those.
Then they should just call it The Matrix and call it a day, because tacking on what is it again? Revitalization. What's the name of this thing again?
But so then it goes back to my question that I've had before: is there an appetite for it? Right? Like I talked about the Downton Abbey movie. There was obviously an appetite for the series. Still, they made it into a movie. So it's the same thing with this. Is there still an appetite even for a Matrix 4? And if there wasn't, maybe this is their way of getting people to have an appetite for another Matrix series.
Possibly. And again, don't get me wrong. I definitely feel that they're trying to revitalize it. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's an audience for this. I think that the 90s Matrix and the early 2000s Matrix is based off of an understanding of cyber hacking and all that doesn't really hold up to this day and age. I mean, we're a TikTok generation, and they're literally doing. I mean, remember the Matrix was dial-up. I just think it may be.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, literally dial-up with a modem. So I just don't know if stylistic gun fu, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Keanu Reeves, like I said, and what's her name, Carrie-Anne Moss, I believe. Yeah, I'm really excited to see that. But if you look at the trailer, I mean, the hallway fight scenes, the helicopter, the jumping off the ledge of a building, the white rabbit, and Alice in Wonderland. Everything was already touched on in the first couple of movies. So I'm optimistic, but I'm very concerned. That's all I'll say.
I'm excited for it. I think there's going to be enough that his John Wick audience will, if they haven't seen The Matrix already, will be there for this Matrix. And I think that by itself could be enough tacked on with the just nostalgia of The Matrix itself. Mm-hmm. Secondly, anything Neil Patrick Harris is in has my money. That was so freaking awesome to see him.
Yes.
He's the best.
That was a shock. Yes.
That was a shock, and that was wonderful.
In the trailer, he's in a therapy session with Neil Patrick Harris as the therapist. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Interesting.
As far as the rest of it, I think my concern about it is not, the acting or the rehash of it or anything, but it's that when you're going back to a property like this that already has that whole kind of Inception type thing going. I think there's a risk of flushing yourself down the Inception toilet and going so many levels that it cheapens any kind of emotional arc or concept of risk, so that you're never sure that it's not just, well, they're just going to wake up somewhere else and another layer down in the Inception. And those kinds of things, I haven't seen very many of those done in a way that still holds that kind of emotional risk through everything, which is, the point of how you get invested in the story of the characters.
That's an excellent point. I mean, literally the main characters that we loved in this, minus Fishburne, are back, and after,
well, and that's the thing. The original Matrix only had one layer. It had, the Matrix and it had Out. But if this is going to, in order to try and tell a story with the same characters in a more in-depth way or whatever, go more layers than that, are they going to try and say that, yes, there's the Matrix and then there's not Out, but there's just, for those people who couldn't live in the Matrix and need a dystopia, that was a whole nother Matrix. That was just a different layer of stuff. And there's actually another one even below, are they going to start to try and do that to come to some sort of heart or spiritual core of a machine or something like that is going to be, a step too far. That step too far in that kind of Inception wormhole is my concern about what may happen with this one. But I'm still going to go see it.
No, I love, and again, I'll go see it as well. Yeah, I'm
not even going to go see it. I'm going to stream it on HBO Max in December when it comes out, because HBO is still doing that, and that's why I still have an HBO subscription.
And you know what? Maybe we can all watch it together, and
yeah,
yeah.
We can release a week watch party. Totally.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because we
cool.
should the whole world.
just time your free trial for that week. It'll be great.
Exactly. And again, I'm a big Keanu Reeves fan, but I just think this is, trash water. But I could be wrong. It just hasn't happened.
That doesn't matter.
I'm trying to watch a lot of Downton Abbey, and if I'm going to sacrifice time for Downton Abbey to watch Neo literally fight another Agent Smith while being trained by another Morpheus.
I actually don't think it's
no.
That he's
awakened, maybe, but not trained.
I think that this might be Neo bringing the new Morpheus out.
Well, and then that's the case. Is this a new I mean, I even said that in the trailer reaction. So this is a new Morpheus, and it's going to be him reminding Morpheus of who he is, or is it going to be Morpheus reminding Neo of who he was?
Could be both.
We'll see. It could be both. It could be a wonderful journey of self-discovery. Yes.